Imagine waking up to your child's nightmare, only to discover the monster isn't under the bed, but someone who knows exactly how to make you believe it is. What if the most terrifying monster is the one you already buried? The air in our quiet suburban home always felt safe, a cocoon against the world. But that night, as the digital clock on my bedside table glared 3:10 a.m., a single, soft sound shattered that illusion, my daughter Lily's voice, a broken record, repeating one chilling phrase from her room down the hall. It wasn't a panicked scream, not the kind that makes your heart leap. No, it was softer, a chilling, monotonous chant coming from Lily's room, "He's still here. He's still here." My blood ran cold. I flew down the hall, my bare feet slapping against the wood, and burst into her room. Lily, my sweet 6-year-old, sat bolt upright in bed, eyes wide, fixed on the closed closet door. Her tiny hands trembled violently. "There's a man inside," she whispered, her voice barely audible. My heart hammered against my ribs. I threw open the closet door, expecting, what? Nothing. Just her perfectly aligned shoes, her tiny dresses hanging still. No broken window, no footprints, no sound. Nothing. I tried to reassure her, to convince her it was just a bad dream. I even locked the closet door from the outside, a futile gesture, before leaving the room, my nerves still jangling. But then, at 3:12 a.m., the baby monitor on my nightstand clicked on. By itself. And through the static, I heard it. A slow, steady, breathing. And it absolutely wasn't Lily's. I stood frozen in the kitchen, the baby monitor on the counter, its low volume now the loudest sound in the house. That breathing. Slow. Controlled. It filled the quiet. The green night vision on the screen showed Lily, curled on her side, facing the wall, deep in sleep. The closet door was still shut. But the breathing continued. It was too deep, too close to the microphone, definitely not hers. The monitor was mounted above her dresser, directly across from the closet. My chest felt like it was in a vice. I flew down the hallway again, cracking open her bedroom door. Silence. Only the soft, hypnotic whir of the ceiling fan. I stepped inside, the air suddenly heavy, oppressive. I pulled open the closet doors, again. Empty. Tiny dresses, perfectly lined shoes. No person-shaped space. I pressed against the back wall, solid. Checked under the bed, nothing. I let out a shaky breath. Asterisk, she's 6. Kids imagine things, asterisk, I told myself. It had to be a nightmare, a trick of the mind. But then I saw it. Small. Insignificant. The closet handle. Tilted slightly upward. Not straight, not level. As if someone had gently tested it. From the inside I stared, transfixed, for a moment too long. I forced myself to move, to smooth Lily's blanket, kiss her forehead. I left the room, but didn't go far. I sat in the dark hallway, listening, straining for any sound. At 3:27 a.m., the breathing came back. But this time, it wasn't through the monitor. It was from behind me. Inside her room. I turned, slowly, my muscles stiff with terror. The door was open, a sliver of darkness. Still. Silent. Then, a faint creak. The closet door. Shifting. Barely. Like old wood settling. My heart was pounding so hard it hurt. I stepped inside again. "Hello?" I whispered, my voice thin, reedy. No answer. I walked to the closet, paused, listened. Nothing. I pulled it open fast. Empty. But something had moved. Her laundry basket. I was absolutely certain it had been against the wall. Now it sat right in the center of the closet. Unless I'd bumped it? Unless. I pushed it back, then closed the closet. This time I jammed a chair under the handle. If it opened, the chair would fall. I stayed in her room, sitting in the darkest corner, watching. Minutes stretched into an eternity. Then Lily spoke. Her eyes were still closed, her voice soft, almost dreamy. He doesn't like when you stay. My blood went cold. What did you say, sweetheart? Her eyes opened slowly. Calm. Too calm for a child who'd just woken up to a nightmare. He said you won't see him if you don't believe in him. Something twisted inside my chest, a knot of pure dread. Who said that? She didn't point at the closet. She didn't point at her bed. She pointed at the ceiling corner. Above her dresser. Exactly where the baby monitor was mounted. My stomach dropped. I snatched the receiver. The screen glitched. Static flickered wildly. Then, for half a second, I saw something. Not in the closet. Not near her bed. Behind the bedroom door. A tall shape. Standing just outside the frame. Watching. I spun towards the hallway, but it was empty. When I looked back, the monitor screen went black. No signal. Dead. And from downstairs, a single floorboard creaked. Slow. Measured. Not in her room. Not in the hallway. But from the living room. I didn't move. Not right away. Every primal instinct screamed, lock her door, call the police, run. But Lily was still in her bed. Still so small. Still mine to protect. Another creak echoed from downstairs. Slow. Deliberate. Like someone shifting their weight, measuring their next move. I fumbled for my phone on the nightstand. No signal. That had never happened. Our Wi-Fi had been glitching all week, cutting out randomly. I'd blamed the provider, but now my hands shook uncontrollably. I kissed Lily's forehead. Stay here, I whispered, my voice barely a breath. She grabbed my wrist, her tiny grip surprisingly tight. He doesn't like when you leave me alone either. My throat tightened, a painful knot. I'll be right back, I promised, though my voice wavered. Her grip loosened slowly, reluctantly. I stepped into the hallway. Every shadow stretched, distorted, reaching towards me. The house felt alien, unfamiliar, no longer my safe haven. Another sound. From the kitchen. A soft, metallic tap. I moved silently, descending the stairs, expertly avoiding the creaky spots. Halfway down, I saw it. The back door. Unlocked. Slightly ajar. Cold air, thick with the smell of damp earth, drifted in. I was certain I'd locked it before bed. Certain. I reached the bottom step, my heart hammering so loud I could hear it ringing in my ears. The kitchen light flickered once, then held steady. Nothing looked disturbed. Until I saw the knife block. One knife missing. The largest one. The room tilted. Okay, I whispered to myself, a desperate plea for reality. This is real. Not imagination. Not a bad dream. This was happening. I grabbed the fireplace poker from beside the couch. The cold metal in my hand was heavy, grounding, a small comfort. I checked the pantry. The laundry room. The garage door. Locked. But the garage light was on. I never leave it on. I walked slowly towards it, each step agonizingly careful. The garage door itself was closed. But I heard something. Not breathing. Not footsteps. A faint scratching sound. Coming from inside the walls. I froze. It moved. Left to right. Like something scuttling, crawling between the studs. Then it stopped. Complete, suffocating silence. My pulse raced so hard I felt dizzy. I stepped backward, bumping into something. I spun around, weapon raised. Nothing. Just the hallway mirror. My reflection stared back, pale, wide-eyed, a stranger in the dim light. Then, the baby monitor crackled in my hand. Static. Then Lily's voice. Soft. Almost curious. Mom? I'm here, I whispered urgently, my eyes darting around. Silence. Then she said something that made my knees nearly give out. He's downstairs with you. The garage light snapped off. Total darkness. I gasped, a strangled sound. The scratching stopped instantly. Then, a new sound. Right behind me. Soft. Breathing. Not from the walls. Not from upstairs. Directly at my ear. I swung the poker blindly, a primal roar tearing from my throat. It hit nothing but empty air. The hallway was vacant. But the back door, it was now fully open. Swinging slightly. As if someone had just walked out. Or in. I ran. Not downstairs. Up. 2 steps at a time, my lungs burning, screaming Lily's name. The hallway felt endless, stretching, distorting. Her bedroom door was open, wider than I'd left it. The chair I'd jammed under the closet handle lay on the floor. The closet door stood wide open. Lily was standing in the middle of the room, barefoot, still. Facing the closet. The laundry basket was gone. Mom, she said softly, her voice oddly calm. He said you finally believe him. I rushed to her, pulling her behind me, my heart a terrified drum. The closet was empty. But it looked darker. Not shadow, not bad lighting. Just depth. Like it didn't end at the back wall. I blinked. It was normal again. Just drywall. Hanging clothes. Nothing else. My heart was hammering. Who is he? I demanded gently, trying to keep my voice even. She hesitated. Then she pointed. Not at the closet. Not at the ceiling. At me. My stomach dropped. No, I whispered, shaking my head. She nodded slowly. He said you forget things. Cold spread through my chest, an icy dread. I don't forget you, I said quickly, trying to reassure her, desperate to deny the implication. That's not what he means. My pulse stuttered. What does he mean? Before she could answer, the hallway smoke detector beeped. Once. Low battery. But it wasn't low battery day. I replace them every January. Religiously. The beep came again. From downstairs. Then another. From the living room. One by one, every smoke detector in the house began chirping. Out of sync. A cacophony of panicked signals. Lily covered her ears. He doesn't like the noise, she whispered. Then suddenly, all the chirping stopped. At once. Dead silence. The kind that presses against your eardrums, suffocating. The baby monitor in my hand lit up. Even though I was standing right in her room. The screen showed the living room. A live feed. From an angle near the ceiling. We don't have a camera there. I stared at it, my mind reeling. On the screen, the front door slowly unlocked. The deadbolt twisting, clicking. By itself. My knees weakened. Then, the door opened. Very slowly. Darkness outside. No one visible. But something blocked the porch light. A tall shape, standing just out of frame. The monitor audio crackled. And now I heard it clearly. The same breathing. Deep. Patient. Inside the living room. Not outside. Inside. I looked at Lily. She wasn't scared. She was watching the screen calmly. He said you wouldn't remember the first time, she said quietly. The first time. My mind scrambled, desperate to understand. What first time? She tilted her head slightly. The closet. My throat closed. A memory flickered. Fast. Blurry. Years ago. Not this house. Another one. Another closet. A door that wouldn't open. My heart pounded harder, a frantic rhythm. That's not real, I whispered to myself, trying to push the horrifying thought away. But Lily kept staring at me. Not the closet. Not the monitor. Me. You locked him in there, she said softly. The words hit like a physical blow, knocking the air out of me. I stepped back, the room tilting. No, I breathed, my denial weak, wavering. But the memory sharpened, cutting through the fog of fear. A fight. A scream. A man's voice. Threatening. Drunk. Arthur. My ex-husband. Her father. The night I finally left him. The night he tried to force his way into her room. I had shoved him. Hard. Locked him in the hallway closet. Called the police. He was arrested. Restraining order. He never came back. He couldn't. He moved states. I made sure of it. Lily was only 3. She wouldn't remember. Unless he told her. My phone vibrated suddenly. Signal restored. 1 new voicemail. Unknown number. Timestamp, 3:33 a.m. My hands trembled as I pressed play. Static. Then a familiar voice. Calm. Low. You always did believe in monsters, Arthur said. And you were right. The line disconnected. Lily's eyes shifted towards the hallway. He's not in the closet, she whispered. The hallway light flickered. Slowly. Then shut off. Complete darkness outside her room. And heavy footsteps began walking up the stairs. Not rushed. Not sneaking. Measured. Confident. Coming straight toward us. The footsteps didn't rush. They didn't hesitate. They climbed. 1 step at a time. Slow. Certain. Unyielding. I pulled Lily behind me, my arms wrapped protectively around her small frame. I slammed and locked her bedroom door. It wouldn't stop him, I knew that. But it gave me something to do, some semblance of control. The handle downstairs creaked. Then, silence. A terrifying, absolute stillness. Right outside her room. A shadow stretched under the door, long, broad, familiar. Lily squeezed my hand. He's mad you remembered, she whispered, her voice a tiny thread. The doorknob turned. Once. Twice. Then stopped. A calm, deliberate knock followed. 3 taps. Exactly the way he used to knock. My chest tightened so hard I thought I would collapse. Open the door, his voice said. Clear. Real. Not through the monitor. Not through the phone. Right outside. I didn't answer. The knock came again. Slower. Open the door, Olivia. I hadn't heard him say my name in 4 years. Lily looked up at me, her young eyes too knowing. He said you'd choose wrong again. Wrong again. The words echoed, pulling me back to that night. The hallway closet. I didn't just lock him in. I hit him first. Hard. With a lamp. He fell. Didn't move for a few seconds. There was blood. Not much. But enough. Enough that I panicked. Enough that I told the police he slipped. Self-defense. Which it was. Mostly. But I never told them he begged before I swung. The doorknob rattled violently now. The door shook in its frame, threatening to splinter. Olivia, he said, his voice disturbingly calm, you think a restraining order stops me? My phone buzzed again. A text. Unknown number. A photo. Taken from inside the hallway. Of my door. From his perspective. He was right there. Watching us. Another knock. Louder. Lily suddenly pulled away from me, walking towards the closet. Calm. Too calm. She opened it. Stepped inside. And turned to face me. He says you have to let him in, she said softly. The hallway went silent. No rattling. No knocking. Just stillness. And then, it clicked. A chilling realization. The footsteps. The door unlocking. The cameras. The monitor feed. All of it required access. Wi-Fi. Electrical. Physical presence. He wasn't inside yet. He was trying to make me open the door. Trying to scare me into doing it for him. The breathing. The scratching. The manipulation. He knew how my mind worked. He always had. I walked to the bedroom door slowly. My heart pounded, yes. But it was steadier now. Focused. You want me to open it? I said loudly, my voice ringing with a newfound resolve. Silence. Then softly, yes. That single word. Right outside. I leaned closer to the door, a faint, grim smile touching my lips. No. I dialed 911, speaker on. Gave the address. Calm voice. Clear details. The hallway shifted instantly. Footsteps moved back. Fast this time. Not slow. Not confident. Running. The front door slammed downstairs, shaking the house. Lily stepped out of the closet. He's leaving, she said quietly. I stayed on the line. The police arrived in 6 minutes. They found Arthur 2 streets over. In his car. Watching our house. Laptop open. Wi-Fi signal booster on the passenger seat. Hacked baby monitor app running. Camera feeds pulled from cheap devices he'd planted weeks ago. In the smoke detectors. In the living room vent. In the garage. The scratching? Remote audio distortion. The closet handle? Fishing wire through the frame. He'd been building the fear slowly. Planning it. Waiting for the right night. The right weakness. They arrested him for stalking. Violation of a restraining order. Surveillance. This time, there was no closet. No panic swing. No blurred memory. Just undeniable proof. 2 weeks later, Lily asked me something. Mom, she said, her voice small, was there ever really a monster in the closet? I looked at her for a long time, the weight of the night still heavy on my soul. Then I answered honestly. Yes. But it wasn't a monster. It was a man. A man who knew fear works better than force. And sometimes, the scariest part isn't what hides in the dark, it's the part of you that still feels small when it knocks. So tell me, if the door started shaking tonight, if the monster you thought you vanquished came calling, would you open it to prove you're not afraid? Or would you finally choose differently, protecting your peace above all else? And what would you do, if the monster already knew your Wi-Fi password?